Hello, it's Natha Campanella. I'm here with my weekly forecast for the week of December 16th through the 22nd, and we're going to talk about astrology. I like to use astrology as a wisdom tool to help my clients and myself figure out what's really going on in their lives and to parse out some of the things that we cannot see very easily for ourselves. And astrology is a beautiful map of what we're doing here on this planet individually. And by translating it and exploring it, we can get some really amazing answers. Now, in terms of the astrology for this week, the sense that I get as I look at all of the transits is that this is a week where we might be feeling a little bit on edge. And I think some of that is because we're in this time, we're gearing up for eclipse season. Eclipse season officially begins on Christmas, December 25th, with a solar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn and Cancer. And the build up to that is feeling very intense because, in fact, we've actually been in a build up toward these eclipses for about 6 months. But now it's really starting to become clear. Now, the thing with the eclipses is that it is about sort of a wild card energy. So things that we aren't necessarily expecting or anticipating can rise up to the surface for our attention. So this week, we have Mars coming into connection with Saturn on the 19th, and that's going to kind of help us get oriented. It's going to help us figure out where we stand. Saturn is about our boundaries. Saturn is about our career and the work that we do. And Mars is about moving forward into action. So we have that happening. We have Venus entering the sign of Aquarius, and she is actually the front runner. She'll enter into Aquarius, and in January, we find that there's a lot of Aquarius action between the moons, between Uranus, which is the planet that rules Aquarius, is going direct. And there's all of this exciting stuff, and Aquarius is about freedom, liberation from old, stuck paradigms. So Venus moving in there brings this breath of fresh air for us and really continues to push us into seeing our world differently, seeing the way with Venus, especially the way that we see ourselves and our self-concept, and also the way that we do relationships, bringing in fresh air to those things, right? Because one of the things that's happening right now with eclipse season beginning, we're coming up on the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which you've probably heard me talking about. That will be in January, is that its old structures of control are having to crumble. And so we're seeing that outside of us, but we're also seeing that within us. So I think that this week is going to really feel like a taking stock, looking around our lives personally and seeing where are we grasping for control and where does it not feel right anymore. And so then we move into this winter solstice, which is on the 21st, and the sun is entering Capricorn on that same day. And this inward feeling of just going inward and kind of taking stock, being silent, and really seeing what's here now. We are so busy. There's so much information constantly coming through our world that if we don't stop and get still, we miss stuff. And it's really important right now as we're coming to the end of 2019, which of course is collectively a powerful time to look at where we've been and set goals for where we want to go, but also with the eclipses, with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and just the astrology in general. We want to be as clear as possible. We want to have a little bit of control of where we're going. And let me just tell you that we don't have as much control as we like to think that we do, but certainly we can cultivate enough of it when we are aware, when we are quiet and silent and taking stock of where we are. So imagine that this week is sort of like a deep breath and a pause and an inspecting what is coming up next. Who am I now? Where am I now? What would I like to create in the upcoming year? Because you guys, it's a powerful one. I was working with one of my mentors, Melody Scott Zindel, and she was reminding me that we have not had astrological transits that are this intense and really profound since about 500 AD. So it is the time. It is the time right now. So, awareness, being as aware as possible of what you're doing in your life. And of course, if you need some help with that, if you haven't had an astrology reading in a while and you want to kind of help get sorted and settled, because if you're anything like me, it's really easy to see what other people should be doing. It's hard to see what we should be doing, right? So if you need a little bit of objective guidance, schedule a reading. Right now is a particularly important and revelatory time to get a reading. So I think that's it for this week. Everything that I want to talk about anyway. If you feel like this message would be helpful for somebody that you know and love, feel free to send it to them or tag them in it. Leave me your comments and questions, and always send me private messages too if you have questions. And you can find me on my website at nathacampanella.com. All right, I will see you all next week. Bye.